All right, let's dive into this one. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Mm-hmm.
This book, it really shook things up, didn't it? I mean, the whole idea of get a good job,
Yeah,
it kind of threw that out the window.
it did.
We're going to break down all the wisdom Robert Kiyosaki packed into this thing. So, at its core, what's the big idea? Two dads.
Yeah.
And they've got, like, totally different views on money.
That's the heart of it, yeah. Kiyosaki's own dad, super educated, but always struggling with money. Then there's his friend's dad, the rich dad, built his own empire, totally different rule book.
And those contrasting views, man, they really shaped Kiyosaki, right? You can, like, practically feel the tension between those two ways of thinking throughout the book.
Oh, absolutely. It's like woven into the whole thing.
Did that lead to some pretty surprising lessons for Kiyosaki?
For sure. Like right off the bat, Rich Dad says the rich don't work for money.
Whoa.
Might sound a little crazy at first, but there's a deeper meaning there.
Okay, yeah, how can you not work for money? Do they just, like, snap their fingers and it appears?
It's more about getting your money to work for you. Remember the story about 9-year-old Kiyosaki?
Oh.
Trying to make money,
Yeah.
casting nickels out of lead.
Oh, yeah.
That entrepreneurial spirit, it was always there. Even if, well, the execution wasn't perfect.
Yeah, poor dad. He wasn't having it.
Oh.
But it shows how Kiyosaki wasn't just content with a paycheck. He was trying to understand the whole system.
Yeah.
So how did Rich Dad mentor him?
He put him to work at his convenience store for 10 cents an hour.
10 cents an hour.
You got it. Kiyosaki thought he was getting a raw deal at the time.
That's brutal. But there's a lesson there, right?
Oh, totally intentional. It forced him to see the rat race, you know? Work, get a paycheck, barely cover your bills. Rich Dad wanted him to break free from that cycle.
So that experience, it was like the seed for a whole new way of thinking about money.
Yeah, it's not just about trading time for dollars forever.
And that leads us to, what, assets and liabilities?
Exactly. This is where it gets really interesting, especially for folks listening who want to, shake things up financially.
Right, most people think they get that difference, but Kiyosaki, he flips the script. He's not talking about what you call things, but how they actually work in your life.
It's a total mind shift. An asset, according to Rich Dad, puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. Simple, but huge implications.
Makes you look at everything you own differently.
For sure.
That fancy car, designer clothes, not so appealing when you see them as money drains.
And here's the real kicker. Your house. The supposed American dream. Often, it's a liability, too.
Hold on. How can a house, something that's supposed to gain value, be a liability? That doesn't sound right.
Well, think about it. Mortgage payments, property taxes, repairs, they all suck money out of your pocket every month. You're not making money from it while you're paying for it.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Kiyosaki's cash flow diagrams, those really drive this point home.
He's big on those visuals, isn't he?
He is.
They show how money flows differently for the poor, the middle class, the rich. It's eye-opening.
Totally. The poor, stuck in that cycle of income and expenses. Middle class, burdened with liabilities. They think they're building wealth, but they're often just stuck in a more expensive rat race.
And the rich?
They focus on building up those assets, stocks, bonds, businesses, things that actually generate income.
Ah, so they have money working for them around the clock, not the other way around. This is making me rethink my own financial habits, starting to see those sneaky liabilities everywhere.
So what does Kiyosaki suggest people do with this knowledge? Not everyone can just become a real estate mogul overnight.
He has this core principle, secret number 3, mind your own business. Now, it doesn't mean everyone needs to start a company, but
But it's about more than your 9 to 5.
right,
Building something else, something that generates income even when you're not on the clock.
that's the core of it. He uses a great example, Ray Kroc and McDonald's. Most people think burgers, but Kroc, he was playing a different game.
He was in the real estate business,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. The land under those golden arches, that was the real gold mine. Kroc understood the power of assets that generate wealth. That's what built the empire.
So it's about seeing the bigger picture, the underlying assets. This is making me wonder, what's my business?
That's the question Kiyosaki wants you to ask. It's about taking control, building your own financial future.
And he doesn't stop there. He goes further, says, the rich invent money. Now, I'm hoping that doesn't mean printing it in your basement.
No, nothing illegal. What he means is the rich are constantly finding new ways to make money work for them. They're not just working for it, they're creating opportunities, systems that generate wealth.
So it's about being innovative, thinking outside the box, finding those hidden income streams.
Exactly. And Kiyosaki believes anyone can learn this science of making money. It's not some secret reserve for the elite.
That's where he brings up corporations, right? How they're like an invention of money throughout history.
That's one of his big examples. Corporations, they let people pool resources, minimize risk, take advantage of tax laws in ways individuals can't.
And he really emphasizes this knowledge isn't just for the wealthy, it's accessible to anyone who's willing to learn. He even tells that story about how he inflated his financial statement to get a loan,
Oh, yeah?
highlighting how banks don't always see value the same way the rich do.
That's a good one.
So it's not just about what you own, it's about how you structure your finances. Kiyosaki's pulling back the curtain on how the wealthy operate.
Giving you a peek behind the scenes, showing you the tools they use, and the best part, those tools, they're available to everyone.
This is seriously making me rethink my whole approach to money.
That's just the first layer of his financial wisdom. There's so much more to unpack.
I'm hooked. Let's dive into the next layer of rich dad, poor dad. So we're starting to see how the rich think differently about money, but let's be real. Taking those first steps can be kind of scary. What about, making a bad investment, losing it all?
Kiyosaki gets that. He doesn't sugarcoat it. Even the rich, they lose money sometimes. It's part of the game. What matters is how they handle those losses.
So not about avoiding risk altogether. Seems impossible anyway.
Exactly. It's about managing risk,
Yeah.
learning from your mistakes, not letting fear stop you. Kiyosaki loves using his own stories for this, like that Texas attitude toward risk.
Texas attitude. I'm a California guy, so you'll have to explain that one. What's so special about how Texans see risk?
It's a great anecdote. Kiyosaki says Texans, they're proud of their wins, sure, but they'll also brag about their big losses. It's almost a badge of honor.
Wow.
They have the saying, if you're going to go broke, go big.
So not about being reckless, but accepting that failure is possible, not letting fear hold you back, kind of like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's it. And Kiyosaki's point is, so many people are terrified of losing, they never even try. Play it safe, stay in their comfort zones, miss out on big opportunities.
Makes you think, what could you achieve if you weren't afraid to fail? What risks would you take if you knew a loss could be a lesson?
He shares stories about his own missteps, like that condo deal with his friend Richard. Went south. He learned the hard way, but it made him a better investor.
He also talks about an oil investment that didn't pan out. It seems like he's really been through it.
He has. And that makes his advice so relatable. He's not just talking the talk, he's been in the trenches, made mistakes, and come out stronger.
Okay, so we need to get comfortable with risk, but how do we do that without going broke? Financial literacy seems pretty key.
Absolutely. The more you understand about money, the better decisions you'll make. Kiyosaki hammers home the importance of constantly learning, finding mentors, and that all-important self-discipline.
And he gives some concrete steps for developing your financial genius. He's got that list of 10, right? What are some of the key takeaways?
Well, first, you got to have a strong why. Why do you want to build wealth? What's driving you? Having a clear purpose keeps you going when things get tough.
Makes sense. If you don't have a strong reason, it's easy to give up when you hit a roadblock.
Exactly. Second, find mentors. People who've already achieved what you want. They can guide you, share their wisdom.
Like having a financial Sherpa, helping you navigate the tricky parts.
Love that analogy. Kiyosaki believes in surrounding yourself with the right people. Not just financially successful, but those with a growth mindset, always learning and evolving.
And he warns about those who try to hold you back, right? Those stuck in fear and negativity.
Totally. The Chicken Littles, their fear can be contagious, so limit your exposure to that.
Like trying to run a race with people pulling you down. Surround yourself with people who are running with you, who believe in you.
That's the idea. And that leads to another big one. Master self-discipline. Absolutely crucial for building wealth.
I can see how that applies to everything, resisting impulse purchases, investing consistently, even just sticking to a budget.
All of it. It's about delaying gratification, making choices that align with your long-term goals, even when it's tempting to choose the easy path.
Kiyosaki also talks about paying your brokers well. What's the thinking there? Some might think it's about showing off.
Nope, quite the opposite. It's about recognizing the value of expertise. You wouldn't expect a top surgeon to work for free, right? Financial expertise is valuable too.
So find professionals you trust, build relationships, understand their guidance can actually save you money, even make you money in the long run.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to get expert help. It's an investment in your financial future.
This is making me realize, rich dad, poor dad, it's not just about getting rich, it's about taking control of your financial life, creating the life you want.
It's about changing your mindset, mastering your finances, and building a life of abundance.
And Kiyosaki makes it clear this is possible for anyone. Doesn't matter your background or current financial situation. He believes financial freedom is a birthright.
He does. And he really emphasizes being a lifelong learner, always searching for new knowledge and opportunities.
He also talks about giving back, doesn't he? Not just accumulating wealth, but using it to make a difference.
That's a core lesson from Rich Dad. If you want something, you first need to give, Kiyosaki says. It's about creating abundance, allowing wealth to flow in by being generous.
So it's not a zero-sum game. It's about creating a world where everyone can prosper.
Precisely. And Kiyosaki believes that applies to everything. Money, love, happiness, even business. The more you give, the more you receive.
This is really hitting home. It's about aligning your actions with your values, living a life of purpose, not just chasing dollars.
That's the beauty of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It goes beyond practical advice. It's about the deeper principles of wealth, of living a fulfilling life.
And he backs it all up with concrete actions, right? He gives a list of to-dos at the end to get people moving.
He does. Find a mentor, take classes, make offers, overcome that fear of failure, and most importantly, get started today. Don't wait, just dive in and learn.
That's where the rubber meets the road. You can have all the knowledge, but if you don't take action, nothing changes.
He also gives practical tips for finding those opportunities. Real estate, stocks, even getting a great deal at the store. He wants you to think big, learn from history, be on the lookout for those shifts that create new possibilities.
So being proactive, resourceful, constantly learning, you never know where that next opportunity will come from.
And that leads to another point. Action beats inaction. You can read all the books, but if you don't do anything, you won't achieve your goals.
He's like a coach, pushing you to get in the game. No more procrastinating, no more excuses.
Exactly. Step out of your comfort zone and embrace the possibilities.
And while he encourages bold moves, he's also clear this isn't about getting rich quick. It's about building a solid foundation, long-term wealth, independence.
Smart choices, managing risk, being patient. Wealth, like anything worthwhile, it takes time and effort.
This is inspiring. It feels like he's giving you permission to dream big, to believe that financial freedom, abundance, it's all possible.
He is. He's saying, here are the tools, here's the mindset, now go create the life you want.
It's about changing your mindset, mastering your finances, creating a life that aligns with your values.
Beautifully put. That's the heart of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a call to action, to awaken your financial genius and take control of your future.
It's been amazing unpacking all this wisdom, so much covered already. What other insights from the book can we dive into?
One thing that really hits home with Rich Dad, Poor Dad is that it's not just like theory.
Right.
It's rooted in Kiyosaki's own life. He actually walks the walk, shares his wins and losses, makes it way more real.
Oh, yeah.
He's got that story, the mini storage facility investment. Perfect example of how he uses those Rich Dad principles.
Exactly. He helped a classmate. They invested a small amount, like $7,000
Wow.
into a mini storage place, ended up generating solid cash flow, grew into a much bigger investment.
It's like proof you don't need a ton of money to start. It's more about spotting those opportunities and being brave enough to jump in. Kiyosaki really believes that science of making money, it can be learned. He says, start small, get some practice, gradually build your wealth.
Think big, but start small. Take those little steps towards the big vision.
He has that line, small people remain small because they think small, act alone, or don't act all.
Powerful, right?
Right.
Our actions, they often reflect what we believe deep down.
He also talked about having heroes, people who inspire you to, achieve great things, not just in finance, but in life in general.
He talks about his own baseball heroes growing up, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. For him, it was about seeing what was possible, that talent and dedication. He thinks we can tap into that same energy by like emulating people we admire.
Like having a roadmap, a model to follow.
Exactly. And it's more than just copying what they did. It's about understanding their mindset, how they face challenges, how they achieve those incredible things.
So find people who embody the qualities you want to cultivate. Let their example guide you. Yeah. But Kiyosaki reminds us, the journey to financial freedom, it's not just about money. It's about aligning your money with your values, living a life with purpose.
That's something his rich dad really instilled in him. True wealth, it goes way beyond dollars and cents. It's about using what you have to make a positive impact.
Exactly. And that's what makes Rich Dad, Poor Dad more than just a personal finance book. It's a philosophy, a guide to creating abundance in all areas of life.
Using your resources to fuel your passions, support causes you believe in, making a real difference.
It connects financial well-being with, fulfillment. It wants you to take charge of your financial life, not just for yourself, but to make the world better.
This deep dive has been incredible. Assets, liabilities, the rat race, the power of corporations. We've covered so much.
And as Kiyosaki says, the learning never stops. Always something new to discover.
So for our listener, what's the one thing you want them to take away as they continue on their financial journey?
Financial freedom, it's within reach for everyone. It starts with changing your mindset, building your financial knowledge, and most importantly, taking action. Kiyosaki's motto, don't play it safe, play it smart. I think that says it all.
We've covered a ton, but Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it's worth revisiting. So much wisdom packed in there.
It can truly change your life if you're open to it. Keep learning, keep growing, keep exploring the world of finance.
And remember, awaken the financial genius that lies within you. You have the power to achieve anything you set your mind to. Until next time.